Hello, I'm Danelle Robles, sales manager at Kidrobot. We're here doing a weekly spotlight for Women's History Month, and I'm so excited to introduce to you Junko Mizuno. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi,
Um,
thank you for having me.
Having grown up in Tokyo, Junko Mizuno is a self-taught artist, constantly working on new comics, paintings, illustrations, and product designs, which range from toy figures to apparel. Motivated by the pure pleasure of creating art, she celebrates the power of women and creates a universe of them, full of energy, both positive and negative. So Junko, because this is Women's History Month, we'd like to begin by asking you about your favorite female artists. Who are they and how have they influenced you?
I have many artist friends who are women. They are all inspiring. I'd like to talk about this contemporary artist called Nikki de Saint-Phalle. She's French American. She was active in the 60s and 70s, but kept making really colorful, big sculptures. Many of them are animals or big women having fun. Like they look like dancing, really colorful, kind of psychedelic. She has a big sculpture garden in Italy. I first saw her work when I was 18 or 19, when my sister took me to her museum. I didn't know her, but my sister told me, this artist is great. So I went with her and I was so amazed because it's so colorful and powerful and fun. So I just fell in love. And I learned she was struggling a lot with childhood traumas. So her early works were pretty dark and aggressive. She was, showing anger through her artwork. She was kind of like healing herself by making art. Then her art style changed because she was happier and she wanted to celebrate the power of women. So, her work got much more fun and happy, colorful. So that inspires me a lot, like, being true to yourself and, creating art. And she was very prolific. So every time I see her work, it inspires me and it gives me a lot of power.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Clearly, with the industry we're working, could be considered predominantly male. At what point in your life did you begin to be aware of the difference in how men's art is memorialized versus women's art? And do you see that changing?
Actually, I started working as a Japanese comic artist, and I didn't feel so much difference between the way male comic artists and female comic artists were treated in Japan. Japanese comic industry is how do you say, there was already a girls comic genre established in Japan, so female comic artists were not very rare. When I started working as a professional artist, it was in the 90s, and it was already like that. It was very totally normal having female comic artists. Like there was a whole genre of women's comic, girls
That's
comic.
amazing. Yeah.
It was amazing, but when I was little, it's more about the Japanese society and culture. Women's happiness was supposed to be just getting married and having kids. And my mother was really worried about me getting too much into art because she she wanted to be like a normal girl.
Yeah,
So she
follow
kept
the path.
yeah. So she
Yeah.
kept telling me things like, girls are supposed to be cute and nice and, be attractive to guys and stuff like that. And I remember I was so frustrated
Yeah.
about that. So in the comic industry, it felt easy being being a woman, but in the normal world, it was always like people thought I was a weirdo, not getting married, not having kids, and making weird art. Yeah, so that's what I
And now
remember.
you're
But
celebrated.
mm,
How are these themes and how you grew up? How do they, how do we see that in your work? Subject matter,
mhm.
emotion.
I think in Japan and also many people in other countries, when they see my art, they think it's a cute art with something crazy darkness going on. You know, some people labeled my art as, you know, gothic kawaii or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't like it very well. But basically the theme of my work is, you know, women's power
Mm,
and energy, and also life and death and food. You know, I draw a lot of food because I like it, and it's also uh part of part of the life.
go
Also
ahead.
freedom,
Mhm.
freedom. I want to be free to do whatever I want to in my art. So that's the important theme.
I love that. We talked a little bit about, culture in different countries. And what do you think is the importance of art, especially in times like now?
Yeah, so for me personally, being an artist helped a lot to go through the pandemic and all the crazy stuff in the past 3 years. Because creating art is kind of like a meditation. You know, you can focus on it and you can be in a different world. It was still a bit hard to focus because, you know, what happened in the past three
Mhm.
years was too crazy,
Crazy.
but still I felt really lucky. I was an artist. I could work at home and you know, people supported me in the pandemic a lot. So I really appreciate it. Some people told me, you know, they felt good when they saw me still working.
Mhm.
I was happy to hear that.
Obviously, you've done a lot of pieces with Kidrobot over the years. What are some of your favorite pieces, whether it's a Kidrobot piece or another project you've done? What are some of your personal favorites?
I did this painting called Wings in 2021 for this group show with the theme of wings. When I first heard the theme, I thought it will be a good chance to make a painting that is showing how it's important to be free in the difficult situation, because it was still 2021 and, you know, we were still locked in the house. So I created this piece with a woman with butterfly wings. Some people think it's a creepy, but it's about being free from
Mhm.
everything. The woman is also giving birth to a child. You know, I've never had a child, but I always feel amazed that how, you know, women can give birth to another human. It feels like a special power. So
Mhm.
I include it in the painting as well. I'm thinking about making it a cover for my next art book.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that. Any favorites on the Kidrobot side that you've worked on?
I'm happy with all the things I've done,
Mm.
but it's usually the latest one I've worked on. So it's just the left lamp dunny, the green dunny with a lot of transparent parent flames around her.
Mhm.
That is my favorite, but probably the next one will be my most favorite.
Can you tease us on some of the, exciting new upcoming projects?
Oh, the Witch Queen.
Yes, the Witch Queen 8-inch resin figure. Can you
Mhm.
talk about that one or give us some background on the inspiration for that one?
That is, which is one of the characters I've been doing in the past couple of years. I first created her for the solo show
Mm.
called Triad. and it was about three characters. One is the witch, the nurse, and the other one is a wrestler. It was kind of like a story I created in my mind. It's a world with three powerful women, and the witch is like a creator, and the nurse is the healer, and the wrestler is the destroyer and fighter. It's not, there's no specific storyline, but I made some crazy images with them in the paintings. And then after that, the images was made into a pop-up art book. When Kidrobot asked me to do another figure, I decided to design the witch figure.
We're so excited about it.
Me too.
Sounds like a destroyer might be another fun character to
I
do
hope
as
so.
well. Thank you so much, Junko. It was great to speak with you. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much.